Hello and welcome to Happy Silver People. My name's Rachel and this is one of our tea time talks. And today I'm really pleased to have chatting to me over a cup of tea a good colleague of mine, Kevin. We're taking a late lunch break at the same time so that we can just have a quick chat and find out a little bit more about Kevin's thoughts around growing older. So Kevin, I asked you in advance if you wouldn't mind trying to describe yourself in 10 words. I hope that wasn't a horrible task for you, but what did you come up with?
Thank you, Rachel. It's a pleasure to be here. So those 10 words, what were they? Well, Sheffielder, Blade, male married father, which I thought was safe, history graduate, expatriate, Philhellene, Arabophile, and overweight. So I thought those were the words which would do pretty well at this point.
Oh, wonderful. I think I might have predicted a reference to Sheffield, and I'm really interested that you put that first. Do you see that really as very much a defining adjective and a defining aspect of who you are?
Sense of place. Yes, it is. And it's where we came back to. I say we, that's me and my wife, because my wife was brought up just a mile that way, and I was brought up a mile that way, and we're both living here, which happens to be kind of equidistant between, by accident, the two places we both grew up in Sheffield. Her father played for the Blades. My grandfather was the club doctor there, which brings us on to the second word you'll have noticed rather cunningly.
Yes.
The family's been in Sheffield for 3 generations. My son's here now 4. And it is the place we came back to because it's home.
And do you feel that being from Sheffield, both of you being from Sheffield, do you think that has an impact on your character, on your personality, how you've developed over the years?
I'm not
Sheffield
sure.
particularly.
I think it certainly helps your outlook, because in a country which is so southern centric, as you will have discovered, Rachel, I suspect, in a country which is so southern centric, it's interesting to have the alternative view of reality that you tend to get in Yorkshire. And the history here is very different from the history elsewhere, and that definitely colours your understanding of facts and the perception of how things are. I mean, the miners' strike was here and hereabouts. Orgreave is not that far away. It's actually on the site of the University of Sheffield's small campus they've got out there, the Industrial Development Hub. So, yeah, it colours your perception, definitely.
Okay, thank you. I mean, you mentioned words like overweight there. I was going to ask you how you feel generally about this stage in your life.
I was a bit shocked when I realised I am clinically overweight. What? Me? I'm never overweight. That's something that isn't me.
Well, you've got
to learn to live with these things as you get older, and life does kind of surprise you like that. That's not me. Well, it is now. So what are you going to do about it? So there is that kind of thing as you get older, that stuff you took for granted earlier on in life, you no longer can do so, and you have to work at or work harder at.
Are there examples of things that you're still trying to carry on with and you're having to work harder with?
Well, yeah, tennis, for example. I mean, just 5 years ago, I made it into the first division at the local tennis club. Well, I've actually got a picture of my name on the first division ladder on my phone, because I knew it's not going to last. But since that point in time, I had a back operation and my mobility is reduced. And I bumble around now in Division 5, and I'm happy enough to do so. But that's something that has changed, definitely.
Oh, okay. Do you think how you are now is what you might have expected 5 years ago if you'd looked ahead?
I'm disappointed with the reduction in mobility and the fact that I can't stay in the, or even the second division.
Yes, I'm sure.
That I didn't anticipate. I kind of thought I might slow down a little, but having a procedure of any sort, but having that particular procedure which resulted in what's happened is it's a step change rather than a gentle decline. So you have to learn to live with that, but you just have to get on with it. And so fine, I have to adapt my tennis game to do so.
But it's good you're still playing, and you're obviously still getting some enjoyment from it.
Huge enjoyment from it, yeah. It's great.
Okay, so that's good. So you haven't had to find an alternative?
Not yet.
Just change your expectations of yourself, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. Golf. I mean, I had hoped on coming back to the UK to play more golf, but actually it's got less and less because of that. Well, it's a shame. All right, but it does mean maybe I can get about 9 holes in on a golf course from time to time, but it hurts a bit, so I don't do that so much. But well, there you go. But we live in a beautiful part of Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, right on the edge of the Peak District here. And Saturdays, if the weather's good, we can walk up into the Peak District, way out onto Stanage Edge, which some of your listeners may know. And it's just the most beautiful place. So I'm not stuck for things to do in terms of exercise. I'm fortunate like that.
Yeah, and a lovely location, definitely, for it. So thinking ahead over the next few years, how do you think things may change, and is there anything you're doing to prepare yourself for that?
Well, in 2 years' time, I could probably give you a month's days and hours, but in about 2 years' time, I shall be retiring. So there are certain things you do to prepare for that, qualitatively and quantitatively. Quantitatively, I've already had a discussion with the pension people there. That's a really good service that's provided. Deborah and I, my wife and I, went down to have a conversation with them last year, I think it was, about pension planning, and they gave some good tips, and we're working on those now. And
do you mean the bank? Your bank?
No, it's I can't remember the name of the thing now, but it's a free government service, because of course when the government a couple of years ago basically liberalized pensions so that you could go and take lots of money out and blow it and then discover you're really hard up on your uppers, but they also felt that they had an obligation, quite correctly, to make sure that if you give people this liberty, you also give them the advice and support so that they understand how to use it. And it's that pension advice. I can't remember the name of it. I mean, if you just Google it somewhere, you'll find it. But we went down for a meeting, free of charge, we got about an hour with somebody who was really switched on and gave us a health check on pension planning and some of the things we need to consider. And we can go back in a year's time to have a further discussion about how far we've taken things and where we stand now, and make sure that but get their take on how that's panning out. So that's the quantitative side. The qualitative side is just working out what you're going to fill your time doing.
Yeah.
And it's a good time to start thinking seriously about that, rather than waiting for the day to come and then fall off a cliff. So I'm starting to think about that. Yeah,
that's really helpful. I'm going to take up that tip, actually.
Oh, do. They're really helpful people.
Myself. Okay, we're going to have to draw to a close, Karen, as my tea's running out here. So I just wondered, any quick tips for staying positive as we grow older?
Be philosophical. I support Sheffield United. Your listeners who follow football may be well aware that last season they had a season in heaven and finished 9th in the Premier League. This season they are nailed on certainties for relegation. C'est la vie. But it's wonderful to be part of that V, and it's far better than the alternative. So that's how I stay positive.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Karen. Really good to talk to you as ever. Take care, and I'm going to go off and make my appointment with the pension planner. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Welcome. Thank you very much indeed, and it's been a great pleasure. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.